It's game time almost.
I said it was funny. Orders wise. The other, they weren't to wait up by third quarter. Well, they went to it. I think they're ready to close sessions. Just like me. Probably, yeah.
Oh, it's go time. Are you rolling?
Just, yeah. We are,
Any young people here?
Gotta get this.
I'm calling this meeting to order. This is 6:30, the 71st meeting. If we could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Usually I have some young people do this, but not too many young people here. Okay. We're good to go? Good, okay. So from there, could we do the roll call, clerk, please?
Morosky Brown,
Here.
Janetti, here, Krenz,
Here.
Carter,
Here.
Turnbull.
Great, we have a quorum. We're all here. This is the 99th council since we started here. So we just switched. Everything's the same. We're all in the same positions, except we switched mayor pro tem from one to another. We talked about it 2 years ago. So giving other people that opportunity. We said Barbara Rusk Brown did an outstanding job. She was there the last two terms, the last two two-year terms. And she said she's not going anyplace. We know she's not, but I thanked her for everything. I'm not always around for meetings. She has represented the city at SEMCOG that we have here today. She's at 35th District Court, which has done a great job, which we've had a lot of work to do over there, and at the Conference of Western Wayne. So that was the last meeting in case you weren't here for it. But thank you very much again, Barbara. So this is a transition to give other people idea of what's going on and be the mayor pro tem. So with that, I'm looking for a motion for the approval of the agenda tonight. Do we have that out there? Are we going to? Oh yeah.
there's one item, but we usually,
Yeah, you're right. So
it's in the consent that
So-
moving to agenda.
so we'll approve if that's what you want, and then we will go forward and add that later on.
When we get to
Yeah,
consent.
when we get to that, great. So I'm looking for a motion to approve the agenda. Do we have that motion on the table?
So moved.
Do we have support for that?
I'll support it.
So we have a motion properly supported. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Great, we have an agenda. Public comment, I showed what we had 6 in. Did any other come in at the end on public comment, written comment that was out there?
Nope, there were no.
Okay, great. And everybody had a chance to look at those. Outstanding. I have high expectations. I expect everybody to read the council packages and everything that came in. Sometime we have 50, 60 letters, and I expect people to read those before they get here. So thank you very much for doing that. Not only this group, but 27 boards and committees, they do the same thing out there. So now the consideration, we're going to number 5, consideration of the consent agenda. There might be one thing, talking to Barbara Morosky Brown, council person, we might change, put one thing, right? to the-
Yes, I propose moving the city council minutes for the regular council meeting November 17th. I have a proposed edit in that, a small section. So if we could move that to the agenda.
Sure, and this is more, sometimes if it's just a word or two, a scribble edit, this is a couple more words than that. So we will put this on the last area, item C, so that will be 9C under new business.
Mayor, do we want to put that before the closed session? Because typically we wouldn't stay for the closed session.
When is it? I think we are doing the new business, aren't we? Let's see.
You would just make city council minutes 9B, and then you would move.
Oh, yeah, sorry. You're exactly right. I was thinking that another section. Absolutely. That would be 9B and 9C would be closed session. There's nothing exciting out. We'll do all of our final remarks and let everybody release into the wild here tonight a little bit. So good. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Tony. So with that, I have no problem. Do I have a motion to go forward and add that to our agenda?
I move to support the consent agenda and the agenda as amended.
Great. Do we have support for that?
I'll approve it. I
Yep.
support
We
it.
have support from Councilperson Janetti. Any other discussion? Seeing none, I think we can do this. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Great. So we have an agenda and we have a consent agenda there. So now we are on presentations of life here. So this is an exciting time. We are so fortunate. We deal with a group called SEMCOG, and you'll hear a little bit more about them in a little bit, Southeastern Michigan Organization of Government. They have been a great support in all that we're doing here. Yes? Did I jump ahead a
I
little
think you
bit?
jumped ahead.
Oh, I want to. I want to get them going.
Public comment.
Public comment, then consent, then.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I see them. They just ran in from dinner. I was trying to give it in here.
Yep.
Hello there, Jerry. Great. So is there any public comment on things that are not on the agenda tonight? Things on the agenda are, we're going to a closed session for personnel activities. We will talk about Parks and Rec, and if you have any comments, I will open it up on that. Consideration of adopting the new, the times for our city council meeting. I don't think you're going to be talking much about that. And just the scribble notes. If you're here to talk the notes or to add to our notes from the last meeting, I will give you time to talk on that. Is there anything else on your mind other than that? If there is, this is the time to come to the mic. Thank you very much for slowing me down on that. Going once. Going twice. Are you coming up? Great. Yep, absolutely. Again, when you come up to the mic, some of you are new, full name and address. So at home, there's usually 30, 40, 50 people so they can hear you and they'll get the mic. And if you could adjust the mic up for him too, so he gets it on. Good. All yours.
At Brazen 370 Fairbrook.
Hey, Ed.
I just came to come talk about the roundabout.
Okay.
On the record. Since we started this process of the roundabout, you guys said that thing had to be done by the end of this month. It's not done. It's not even close. Are we going to lose our grant? That's what we've been told. I'd like an answer to that, or it's too late.
Sure.
And they're out pouring concrete today in substandard weather. Is OHM or Wayne County or any of them people watching what they're doing? Because there's all kinds of rules about pouring concrete in this kind of weather. It's supposed to be monitored to see how cold the concrete's getting, and so it cures right.
Right.
They have to put additives in it.
They do.
I just want to make sure all that stuff's being done.
Yep.
It's 4 o'clock today, they're pouring concrete, 31 degrees. It's going down to 19 tonight.
Yes.
And it's going to be sub-zero weather all week. So I don't know what's going on and why they're doing it right now. Makes no sense to me.
Great.
And what else?
Great.
Oh yeah, something's got by the wayside too is months ago, you guys voted to make it 3 minutes instead of 2 minutes to talk.
Yes.
That never happened. I'd like to know why. And I'd like to see us go back to Zoom, because if you notice, since we went to this diligent thing, how many people have called in during a meeting? Maybe 4 since you started that. Nobody can figure out how to use that thing. So I say you guys got to go back to Zoom, because nobody knows what's going on in this city. There's so much stuff going on and it never gets handled. I thought that was part of the George thing, like fixing the website too. Can't find nothing on the website. Seems like it's all done on purpose, so nobody can figure out what's going on. And I'd also like to see a town hall meeting start coming up, a couple a year. There's so much going on in this town that needs to be answered.
Thank you very much for the comments. Appreciate it. Again, we will get all those answers to the roundabout. Yes, it was supposed to be December 1st. I think they pay us back a little bit every day because they're late. Yes, they can pour concrete. We will get all those answers. It's under MDOT, it's under the states, under the county. So got it. Grant is fully functional right now. In fact, some of the people that have the grant will be here tonight. So we got it. Thank you. But we will get all those answers. I know this isn't Q&A, but those are kind of obvious, so I thought I'd put it out there. Anybody else in council chambers? And then I'm going to go online. And we're doing the same system that most of Southeastern Michigan after there's opportunities online. So everybody has a chance. I've not heard from anybody that couldn't get in, but we will research that too. We appreciate that. It's about 16 or 17 communities in the Conference of Western Wayne are doing the same thing. Most of them don't go online. We have online on that. The ones that do, it's we worked with the state of Michigan, and we'll give you answers on that too. So it's about as clear. It wasn't as clear as the other, but it's one more step. You are correct. Sorry, I usually don't explain, but I explained tonight. Anybody else in council chambers? Going once, going twice. Okay, I'm closing off public comment in council chambers. Is there anybody online that has their hand raised? You can't see that there's a whole host of people, but we don't have them up there like we used to.
Yeah,
Never see them.
you're showing about 20 people currently, but
Okay.
typically we get hundreds of views
We
in
do.
each video. Matter of fact, if you go back about 3 videos, I think there were about 700 views.
Yeah.
And those are unique views. So they are getting a lot of attention.
Okay, so no hand raisers there right now?
Yeah, to raise your hand or to call into the meeting, the detailed instructions are at the top of the agenda. You just call in on a toll-free number. We let you into the meeting and then we have you raise your hand. And currently there are no one in the comment line
Okay.
with their hand raised.
So we will open it up when we get to the different sections too. We're about the only ones that do it section by section. Usually there's a one-time up front of 2 minutes, by the way. And we have gone to every section on that. So with that, I'm going to close it off. Second call. Okay, we will close off public comments on things that are not on the agenda. If they're on the agenda, you have that great opportunity to give us comments. Good. So with that, let's go to what I started to go to on the SEMCOG activities. What's that?
Do we vote separately on consent agenda?
Yeah,
We did.
We went
Yeah.
right by that.
So,
Yep,
okay,
we're good.
you're good.
Thank you very much. Duly noted, presently accepted. Presentations. So I started this. SEMCOG has been a great partner. We've had over $15 million worth of grants nationally from the federal government, from the state, from counties. SEMCOG has been one of our biggest supporters on different things like the roundabouts, like the greening spaces, like the bricking at the Mill Race Village. We just went around and looked at some of their activities. Tonight, it's a section on the Riverwalk that they're supporting. We are so fortunate to have them as a partner. About a third of the funding has come through SEMCOG. And tonight we have 2 individuals, which I call a friend, Amy O'Leary, the executive director of SEMCOG, and of course, Kevin Vitrino, also a friend, not only a friend of mine, friend of our community. They have done so much for our community, a friend of each and every Northvillian. And we work with Novi, we work with Plymouth. They have done so much out there. With that, I'm going to toss it over to my friend and the number one person for all the 7 counties. That would be Amy O'Leary. Amy, it's all yours.
Thank you. Good evening,
Good
everybody.
evening.
Nice to see you all. I guess I just want to start by saying thank you for the opportunity. I want to thank you for being so active and being a member of our organization. And the mayor's a member of our executive committee and provides a lot of insight and guidance, but so do all of you and your staff are awesome to work with. So we want to recognize that first and foremost. A little bit about SEMCOG. We are a council of government, so we have 186 local governments that are members of our organization. We serve almost 5 million people across Southeast Michigan, so the 7 counties of Southeast Michigan. We have also a number of federal designations, though. So we are the Metropolitan Planning Organization for Transportation. We also are the Economic Development District and the Water and Air Quality Planning Organization for Southeast Michigan. As the Metropolitan Planning Organization and Transportation, one of our assignments is really to look at long-range transportation planning and help with the distribution of the federal transportation funds through what's called a Transportation Improvement Program, which is $3.1 billion. So roughly $1 billion a year goes out the door for transportation projects that have federal funds. And that's part of the reason that we have that designation. We like to look at things regionally, but really work locally on projects. And we think that one of the roles we play is the connection between our local communities, the data, the information, and the funding opportunities, like the Transportation Alternatives Program. This is one of the essential federal programs currently funded in the bipartisan infrastructure law that really makes a difference in our region. And just to give you an idea, we have invested through Just Tap over $100 million in 160 projects all over Southeast Michigan. So we really do appreciate the supporters at the federal level of both our senators, Senator Slockins and Senator Peters. Also Representative Dingle, who is really an advocate for what we do at SEMCOG and bringing local governments together, but also these federal transportation programs. I also want to thank our state representative, Kelly Breen, who's here today too. It's not just the work at the federal level, it's the work that we do with the state as well. So we appreciate your help at the state level. But today we're here to celebrate a TAP project recently awarded to Northville by SEMCOG's Regional Review Committee. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that the mayor did say that I work with Kevin Petrino, who's sitting right here. He runs all of these programs for SEMCOG as the planning director. I just get to be the great person who hands out the checks. So appreciate all the work that Kevin does. Our Regional Review Committee are all elected officials. And so we as staff take in the project ideas, but it's the elected officials that really make that final determination of what projects that are funded. So speaking on behalf of the Regional Review Committee, I can tell you that it's incredibly significant to address a crucial connection from downtown Northville to the Downs River Park and on to Hines Park Regional Trail and the 7 Mile Road Pathway, which we visited just a few minutes
We
ago.
did. We had a magical mystery tour before this and then
I'm
they had about 8 minutes.
Have
to
done
eat.
that tour and it's
It's
a
good.
little scary, but I don't know what's
You went off road.
we know. We just drove what's going.
Ever want that tour? Yeah, I offer that at times. Brave of heart.
What's really impressive about this project, though, is its focus not just on mobility, but on pedestrian safety, which is a priority for this organization and all over Southeast Michigan. I do want to ask Commissioner Gwen Markham, who's the chair of SEMCOG and also commissioner in your area, to come forward. She's a member of Regional Review Committee, as well as the chair of our organization. So it's not every day that we get to have her come. And I just thought she might want to say a couple words too, because she's on the committee.
Welcome, Gwen.
Thank you. Regional review is probably the most, at least in my experience, the most impactful committee that we have, because the staff does this great job of accumulating all the projects that have been submitted and doing the evaluations, and then they put it before us. And we have a very healthy debate about, where should this go? But we're talking big chunks of money. $1.2 million is a lot of money. And it's it's an honor to actually be able to serve on that committee and help make these decisions, because we know that these are decisions that are going to have an impact for 30, 40 years going forward. And it's really a fun committee to be part of. I don't usually miss that meeting because it's super important. So congratulations on winning this award. You deserve it. Can't wait till summer when we can really walk that pathway all the way down to the farmer's market, and really exciting. So
Thank you. Thank you so much for all you do there. I appreciate it.
So really just want to end by saying ensuring that pathways are ADA accessible, safe for our cyclists and pedestrians to cross the road, and there's connections to destinations that people need is really why we are giving you this $1.2 million grant tonight. I just want to say you guys are doing amazing work here. The things that we have seen happen in such a short amount of time is overwhelming in a very positive way. We talked earlier, people said this should happen over 10 years and it's not. I mean, you guys are doing amazing work and I appreciate your leadership in this region. It's not just regionally impactful, it's impactful across the state. So thank you.
Great.
So let's have our
Good. I
chat.
have something for you. Again, I wanted to thank the people that are here. Amy and Kevin are here representing the team, but you have the whole lot of SEMCOG people here. Thank you for bringing that check. We appreciate that check. We'll cash it tomorrow. Terry Marecki, a friend from Wayne County, a commissioner here that has done a lot helping daylight the river there too. Kelly Breen, our state representative that does an outstanding job in the Oakland County side, and on these pathways, we're connecting Wayne County and Oakland County together. And Gwen Markham, I think we're together Friday for another meeting at SEMCOG. Very good. So stay right there, and anybody else can come up there. Hang on. I have something for you before you give us over that.
Oh, all right.
Too. So on behalf, why don't you come right here? It's something on behalf of all of us at the city. Yep, come on up, Terry.
What are we getting?
Kevin, come on up here, absolutely. Am I missing anybody? Okay, we'll want those pictures because they're marking first. You might get it. So this is mayoral proclamation from all of us here today. Yeah, but why don't you guys stand in the middle there? Get that chair away from the mayor.
Just move that.
Yep. Get crushed up in the middle. So
God, he's got this.
this is from the city of Northville for SEMCOG. Whereas SEMCOG, Southeastern Michigan Council of Governments, is the only organization in Southeast Michigan that brings together all government entities to develop regional solutions. And whereas SEMCOG promotes decision-making through insightful data analysis, assists in efficient use of tax dollars for infrastructure investment, develops regional solutions that go beyond the boundaries of local governments, and advocates for on behalf of Southeastern Michigan in Lansing and in Washington. And whereas since its inception in 1968, I was 8 years old, SEMCOG has acted, I do the math to old, has acted as a regional planning partner with local governments in the following counties: Livingston, Macomb, Monroe, Oakland, St. Clair, Washtenaw, and Wayne County. And whereas all people of Southeastern Michigan benefit from a connected, thriving region of small towns, dynamic urban centers, active waterfronts, diverse neighborhoods, premier educational institutions, and abundant agricultural, recreation, and placemaking areas, which you're making in Northville. And whereas SEMCOG is the only organization uniting all levels of governments in Southeastern Michigan to create lasting regional solutions for close to 60 years. Your website says 50. You're getting closer to 60 years now. Now, therefore, be it resolved that as the mayor of the city of Northville, I, Brian P. Turnbull, in concurrence with the governor of the state of Michigan, do hereby proclaim Sunday, December 7th, 2025 in the city of Northville as SEMCOG Day. And Senator Black's office, come in here, yeah. Melissa gave you a note, said you're gonna come up there. How are you tonight? Nice to see you. No, you better get those pictures again. Now you got everybody, bring it in. Geez, I didn't even announce you. You gotta sneak in here and tell me that. So thank you.
Thank you.
We want that big check though.
Yeah, let's get that stuff.
Oh, yeah, we should check it.
I better have this check.
Need the check.
Now,
All right, now we get a picture.
This, you're here for the important thing. So this is a big check of life. Good, yes, the camera's going wild. Thank you again. We couldn't do any of this without partners we have, and our strongest partner has been SEMCOG. So thank you very much. We appreciate all you do. Thanks for being here. Thanks. Thanks for you.
Thank you so much.
So you're-
Oh, good to see you too.
It says your pocket.
Appreciate it.
You have to have a really strong.
There we go.
Oh,
No,
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 no, Brian. Those are the mayor's too. Good seeing you.
I can bring you guys anyplace.
Thank you so much, Amy. Eastward Fields of gem, the diamond in the rough.
It'll be happy holidays.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I mean, how are you?
There's gonna be a quiz on that book though. Be prepared.
Amy, sir, a little walk.
It's one of my two sons.
One of the guys.
You gotta zoom that out. I'll get you.
Well, that's the down river.
Yeah, and then the
No,
bridges
you
is.
know, I'm done.
How do we do it?
Tonight was as much as I'm.
How do we do this?
I went like this for the picture. Those are embarrassed.
Fun stuff. It's been
Should have done like.
limited.
That's forward.
So thank you so much.
What filter was
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really exciting. Thank you.
And this is a real meeting, so the SEMCOG people could actually go and finish your dinner, which I took you out of to get over here, but thank you. So now we're on presentations. 6B is Parks and Recreation. Let's talk about the budgets, what's going on. I think you're coming back to talk about the new
Do we have any
branding.
public comment on that?
Oh, any public comment on the check presentation?
I guess.
Going once, going twice? Any public comment online about the check presentation and SEMCOG?
You have no one on the comment line at this time, Mr. Mayor?
Great. So now we will go to, I will open this up if you have Parks and Recreation comments too at the end of this. It's all yours, Derek.
Well, I first want to say thank you to our SEMCOG folks because I've been a recipient of several SEMCOG grants over the course of my career, doing a lot of stormwater repair. And actually, we have a grant through you right now for our stormwater drainage management plan at Legacy Park. So thank you so much for all that you do. And now that we have the big check on how it's going to get built, I get to deliver the mail on how we're going
Good,
to
okay.
maintain it. Right.
Thank you.
So.
Yep.
So this is our budget presentation for 2026. Just want to make a quick note that because we now only get audited by the township and not the city and the township, that our tax ID is now one and the same with the township. So the township board actually approves our budget. So I'm just here to go over a 30,000-foot view of where we are and where we're going.
Great.
So
He'll put that presentation up. I can feel the love. It's kind of coming in any second now. Yeah, and usually we review it at the Parks and Recreation board meeting, myself and Barbara Marosky
Yeah,
Brown
and-
on that board. We cancel some meetings. Usually we would look at that before it's approved by
Well,
the
do-
township and us.
because it's the first year that we've been fully under the township, our.
She left her stuff there, for goodness sakes.
For you again, if you have more checks. No, typically, the problem we had this year is the way it fell with our commission meetings and our budget process at the township. So it just didn't match up where I could get it in front of the commission completed before it was approved. So.
Good.
If you don't mind skipping over the next slide and going to the third one, because I want to come back to that one at the end. So as we know, for the last 2.5 years, since I became the director of the department, we've been doing a lot of things to not only right size our department, but trying to play catch up from a lot of capital improvement items that have needed to be done for a long time. The Parks and Recreation Department did sit on a pretty reasonable fund balance. And the past director always picks on me because he's the one that saved all the money and I'm the one that's spending it. But all jokes aside, I think you can see our progress over the last 2.5 years. We've been able to fix a lot of the items that were broken, including our transportation system, a lot of vehicles and equipment that we've had, many upgrades to the NCC, including sidewalks, interior decor for our seniors. And then, of course, we've added staff and we're starting to, what we call it in Parks and Recreation, is we're starting to right size our department. We know that at build out, the township will be at 35,000. The city is getting ready to add 400 more units to downtown. So we are trying to prepare ourselves to provide those services at the standard level of excellence that our residents deserve. So you can see here our projections between 24 to 29 that our fund balance is taking a pretty good downhill turn. I will say that once we get caught up on some of our, not just our general fund capital items, but capital items between the township and the city, that we will start to plane off a little bit. We still have a few more full-time people that need to be brought onto the department. With us adding over 450 acres of new parkland between the city and the township, we need the proper maintenance staff to be able to perform the duties of maintaining those parks at the proper levels. So go ahead and move on.
And we'll keep you busy on the Riverwalk eventually too.
What's that?
We'll keep you busy on the Riverwalk sections
There,
and the log cabin that you're dying to maintain. Go
we
ahead.
are going to be busy until I retire, so
Mhm.
that's a good thing. I just want to go back and kind of go over some accomplishments that we've been able to see with our Parks and Recreation Department with the current resource model that we have. As I mentioned, right sizing the department, we've expanded, increasing service levels to seniors, camps, and health and wellness and events. One example that I wanted to show you was our community center visits from 23 to 24 increased 17, almost 18%. And our community center from 21 to 24 has almost increased 45% participation just at the NCC. So, and again, I know I've been here before and I've given Debbie and Julie a lot of kudos for what they've been able to do over there at that senior center, but that place is humming. I mean, if you go over there any time of the day, it's lively, it's busy. There's a strong network of socialism over there now, or socialization, sorry.
Socialization.
There's a little bit of a
Let's
difference.
go.
But still, it's really great for our seniors to provide them a place where they can go, stay active, meet new people, and have a place to kind of hang out.
In fact, there's a group from Plymouth that came over because we have such an active senior center. They came over this past week to see what we're doing over here. So
Well,
it's good to know.
I've talked to many people at our senior lunches that are coming from the surrounding communities because they do such a good job. And our veteran ceremony that we had last month
Great.
was a sold out show. We had standing room only. So we need to build a bigger facility. So it's my little plug. Health and wellness participation growth, as you can see from 22 to 25 in the middle section of this slide here. We've almost doubled our participation in our health and wellness program since coming out of the pandemic. As you can see, that continues to increase. And our second Deborah Davison, has done an absolutely fantastic job with the health and wellness program since she's come on board, and the numbers are there to prove it. I think one thing that we've been really proud about, and something that I love to say, is in 2023, our cost recovery, that's what we bring in from revenues against our expenditures minus the contributions that we get from the city and the township. We're at a 51% cost recovery as a department.
Great. You're self-funding.
Well, and then
Good
in
point.
24, we went up 2% to 53%. And every year I plug all of our data from the Parks and Recreation Department into a national park metrics system through NRPA, that's National Recreation and Park Association. And what it does is it benchmarks us against other communities like ours to find out what we're missing, what we're lacking, if there's new markets we can get into, how we're funded, where we have or where we are as far as staffing. And our growth model, the mean across the country for cost recovery is 27%. So what that says is that we are an extremely good value from a product side to the residents of Northville. And I can get into that a little bit more on the next slide. These are our overall revenue trends. 26, I think, might be a little bit low in its projections, but if you remember when I first started here, I had made a comment that our department kind of has a cage built around it. We lease a school building for our senior center. We lease Hillside Community Center at the middle school, and we are pressing against that cage for more places to program. We're really running out of space as far as our growth model is going to start leveling off in 26 because we're starting to maximize our indoor usage space. We get as much as we can from the schools. I know they're tapped out with space, being able to provide it to all the different organizations, not only inside the school, but other nonprofits in the area that run various programs throughout those buildings. We're just really compressed inside that cage. Next slide. Couple other things to mention from that park metrics report that I do through NRPA. Our current funding model is not sustainable moving into the future, and additional resources for growth and expanded programming, participation, and services. You can see by the three charts I provide here, proper staffing levels right now, 10 per 10,000 residents. We are at 2.7 staff members. We just added a full-time park maintenance person let me see, it would have been September. We're adding another full-time park maintenance guy in January. So we're going to go up to 4.7, but the national average is still 8.6 per 10,000 residents. So we're still a little bit behind in that national average, but I think that we also have our sights set on adding a full-time health and wellness person too. So then we get up to, closer to 5, almost 6 people. So we're going to be just under that. Operating expenditures, Northville residents pay $24 less annually for parks and recreation services and programs. Currently, between the city and the township, our residents pay $79 on average per household. The national average is $103. So we're still pretty well below what they pay on the national average. This last one might look a little bit skewed, park operating expenditures per acre of parkland. What I did in this category is I added River Park, I added Central Park, and I added Legacy Park, but kept our current funding model so I could see where we needed to expand to get to that park maintenance level. And that's really, $2,000 behind on average across the country. But I think as we add those over time, we're going to catch up to some of those numbers pretty good. So the growing facility needs, I know it's really small on the TV screen, but this is what I mentioned earlier about outgrowing our spaces. You can see there's the school usage that's inside what we share with other organizations in that pie chart. So right now we take up almost 28% of what the schools have for available space. And we could take that to 40 or 50%, but we don't want to be the big hog at the trough either, because I know there's a lot of other service community or service organizations that need that space. So now if we could jump back to the very first slide, I can put a bow on it for you.
Great.
Again, very small numbers, but it should have been in your packet. You can see that our total revenues continue to climb. But with that, our expenditures continue to climb. This year, you'll see a big jump in our capital outlay. That is because the NCC needs a new roof. Total for that facility to get a complete new roof would be around $500,000. We're piecing it out and doing it over time so we can tackle the biggest problems first and not hit both municipalities with a big punch. We're trying to spread it out the best we can and tackle the bigger problems first. But that facility, I think in 2031 also will need a new rooftop HVAC system. So
That's Spring Chicken. It's 1950, and that's the Norfolk Community
yeah,
Center.
it looks great on the
which
inside.
Schools own, and it's up to us to maintain.
That's
It's a
right.
great lease for about $1 or so, but
We just need to put new lipstick on it.
Yep,
So
correct.
there's a lot of, this is that long-term maintenance that I think the department avoided for a long time. And we're in the process of catching up and making sure that our facilities are there,
great.
for another 20, 30 years, right? So anything else on here, you can see again, I mentioned the revenue streams, capital outlay, and as far as personnel services, supplies and others, our staff is growing to be able to provide the services at the level that we provide them, in particular with the maintenance section, as I mentioned. We do have a new home that we're moving into at the Beck Road Old Water and Sewer Facility, which the township took. They paid for that facility against our DPW fund. They paid out of pocket for that, out of the general fund, including all the renovations that'll take place within the building. So that is not in these numbers.
So you have some space now.
We do, but this year we've got a couple of big items, not just the NCC. We have some equipment that needs to be replaced. Again, adding the 2 new staff members, it's a pretty big chunk of it, but it will plane out over time. And I think that when all these parks start to open, we start programming them. I know the DDA will start running their programs in there as well. There's trash cans and bathrooms and lawns that need to be mowed. I think we'll have a little better idea. We can give you a per acre cost of what it costs for the machines, gasoline, staff, all of that. And we can have those discussions down the road, whether we want to contract that service out and have them do the farmer's market and some of the lots downtown too. But there are daily maintenance requirements too. Things break, things wear out over time. And I think that'll be a conversation for another day about how we break those costs down to you. Hopefully won't be as significant as I think they will be, but we'll see.
Great.
Is there any questions on any of this?
Let me start by thanking you as the vice chair of Parks and Rec, and myself and Barbara Morosky Brown are on that board. I challenged you when you were being interviewed, and I told you all the things that are happening. I didn't mean to scare you off. You have surpassed my expectations. I mean, I think the whole committee, we are so proud, and you're funding it more than 50%, out there. But I thank you tremendously. I've seen the progress. We are moving leaps and bounds in the city and the township. We have 750 acres, I think, under your belt, under Parks and Recreation with Legacy Park and with the other attributes. That's quite something. That is not Mayberry State Park. That's 750 acres that we in Parks and Recreation oversee. So it's tremendous. And I just wanted to thank you and your team. You have Greg and Debbie and everybody else. You do a fantastic job. But
And I appreciate that. That's why I took the job.
Yep, good.
It's going to keep me busy for at
We
least
like
the
to
next
push
12
you, and
years.
Barbara we'll keep you on task too. For goodness sakes.
Just speak briefly. I look forward to our January meeting,
Yes.
and even if I think of where we were 3 years ago, 4 years ago,
Yes.
big leadership transition, leadership voids. We had an interim director who served us very well. And then we hired you, but all of the other staff that work with you, it's just, you see them in town all over the place. They are so enthusiastic. And that was something we never saw before.
Well, we're gonna have to increase the budget a little bit for candy cane distribution.
Please
because
do.
we came up about 2,000 short.
I mean,
And
what
that-
was, I'm trying to think what, maybe George or Brian remember, it was, okay, what mode are we in? Survive,
Right.
you know, and then it was build and
Yep.
then thrive. And
Yep.
so we're in thrive. And you can see that in some of the numbers in terms of expectations on budget, actual versus estimated. You're getting, now you've got your bearings, you know, you get
Yep.
the stability going forward. What I look forward to is, and we've had these discussions before, so it's a continuation, without a right or wrong answer is, you know, we go into next year's budgeted, but then looking at projected. So we're on the right track of what the commission wanted in terms of driving down that fund balance, you know, to a level that we need it for a rainy day fund.
Right.
But also then, working towards that being distinct from setting aside monies when you know there's some bigger ticket item. You know, if that's on a 5-year cycle or something of having that, that list of maintenance that is covered by Parks and Rec versus, larger infrastructure maintenance. So all of that's gonna be good. I appreciate the quick,
Yep.
you know, presentation, and I really look forward to the discussions. It's a great Parks and Recs Commission.
It is.
Good group of people, so I look forward to having those in December and hope we don't get a snow day.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Because that too, in the past at times, it's been the mayor pro tem on there. And Barbara's done such a fantastic job. She keeps you on point on different things. She will continue because she does an outstanding job and looking through all the numbers and where we're going and how we're getting there. So Barbara will continue to be helping run those meetings out there. So I thank you.
I want to acknowledge Nancy Darga was a superstar
Yep.
at Parks and Rec for, I think, a dozen years.
Right.
I think we all still miss her. Which, although she wouldn't be here if she was still serving, but.
Absolutely. But
Yeah.
thank you. Sorry, we didn't put the mayor pro tem on, but the mayor
Well, no,
pro
that
tem
is-
stayed.
That's.
So it didn't have to be. It's just Nancy was there at one time.
No,
I'm comfortable with my number of roles at this point.
but it has not, even when I was appointed, I was not mayor pro
Yep.
tem. And then also Nancy, until the end of her term, or several terms in office, that's when she was.
Barbara's done a fantastic job. She will continue
Yeah.
for life.
I'll keep it brief.
Please.
Great update as always. One general note for the residents in the room. I think it's referenced within the material. I can't remember if you said it, but it is an 85-15 cost sharing. The return for our residents is phenomenal with our Parks and Rec partnership with the township. So I always want to highlight that. The other note is Brian referenced the 750 acres. Derek, you can keep me honest on this, but I think if I go back to 2022, we were right around 300 acres. So
Yeah.
that's very exciting in terms of increase of green space and asset from an overall community perspective. The reason I raise it though also is that is going to represent challenges from a funding standpoint, operating standpoint, staffing standpoint. And so as we continue the conversations, I think there's a lot of opportunity within Parks and Rec. We're just going to have to be really strategic and have some tough conversations probably on how this is all going to get managed, because when you start thinking about Legacy Park, River Park, Central Park, all of these different assets coming on board, that's going to be a stress on your team.
It is, but I think we're preparing for it accordingly by adding the park maintenance staff folks and getting them here, especially the new one coming in January. So we have time to train them before spring comes. We'll have one full-time person will oversee each. They'll be dedicated to a certain park throughout the system. The parks are one thing where I think our focus is going is getting out of markets that don't make sense and getting into new markets that do make sense. And if we're adding all these outdoor opportunities for people, our focus and our marketability as a staff and what we program to, that is also going to have to change to reflect what we do have available to us. So the revenues will keep climbing.
One quick question on the gym usage. I saw 501c community groups. Are most of those nonprofit athletic programs?
I would assume so, probably travel, basketball and volleyball.
Okay,
Yep.
all right, thank you.
It's a very large percent.
Enjoy working with your staff so much. I'm in lots of meetings with you and we appreciate you. I wish you guys were around when I was growing up here. So thank you.
That was so long ago.
I'll just co-sign to what they said and just add that working with Debbie and Greg a few times, you've been over at the senior center.
Yeah.
What they got going on now compared to what it was is night and day.
It's great.
I just want to make sure they get all the recognition they deserve for that work. It's fantastic.
And as you mentioned too, other communities are coming to see what you're doing just in that area. And a lot of them are not under that Parks and Recreation umbrella. I think it works unbelievably well that they're under your umbrella there.
But we're as a team, we're starting to get recognized across the state too. And with everything that you're doing as a council in downtown, what the Township Board of Trustees is doing with Legacy Park and our new headquarters, none of this would be possible without the support of our elected officials. And we really appreciate the opportunity and the support that you folks give us to be the best that we can be. So thank you so much for that.
You going for a new raise on your contract? Because that was really good.
It's built into the
I
numbers.
just want to make sure.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay, great. Stay close. Any comments from those in the audience here? Going once, going twice. Okay, I'm closing off public comment from the audience. Any hand raisers? You mentioned it to them before, how to raise their hand.
You have no one on the comment line at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Going once, going twice. Okay,
Right.
I'm going to close that down. Thank you so much. So we will go now to public hearings. We have no public hearings tonight. Unfinished business, as I normally say. I don't think I push you to finish that business. We finished all of our business. New business. This is a big one. Consideration of adopting the 2026 City Council meeting schedule. You have it in there. Was there any major problems on that? You'll be here when I'm not here. So, Barbara took over. Now you will take over. But was there any major problems on the schedule that you saw in your package? Nope. Great.
No, I think it's the same old when we hit that, as we approach and think about July 6th, we always say what. So I think given where the 4th falls in the calendar and what happens, but in the past, when we've looked at that in April or May,
Right.
then we see if we need to in advance make an adjustment to do it on a different day.
And by charter, we have to meet at least twice a month. So 24 in the year. We have so many more meetings because we have budget and planning. So if there's nothing significant on the agenda, we will cancel a meeting. If there's a lot on the agenda, we won't. No, we're not doing it to push things off, but if there's not enough to have everybody gather here. So we have done that in the last 6 years because we probably have 10 more meetings than we need to. Remember, the township meets once a month and that's it. So good. Not that that's good or bad, but got you. Duly noted.
Not a competition.
No, it's not a competition out there. Anything else on that from here? I will open. Anybody have any comments? First and third Mondays is when we meet. That's what's on the agenda. That's what it's been. That's what it'll continue. Going once. Anybody have any comments on that? Okay. Anybody online that has any comments on that?
Not at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. So with that, we're looking for a motion to have that as a schedule for the year. So anybody want to put that motion forward?
I move to approve the 2026 City Council regular meeting schedule as presented.
Great. So we have a motion. Do we have support for that motion?
Support.
So we have a motion properly supported. Any other discussion? Seeing none, I think we can do this one too. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Great. We have a schedule for next year. We will publish that online. You'll see that by maybe tomorrow or so. First and third Mondays. It's pretty easy. So understand that. So now we're going to go to section B, which we moved up, which is more than scribble notes. It's more than 2 or 3 words. It's 6 or 7. So let's do that for the minutes. I believe that is of the November 17th meeting. That is on the agenda next.
Yeah. I'll just, I did a handout. I don't know that we need to go through it blow by blow, but it's just, I say page 3 and 4 because the heading, it's item 11D, Board and Commission Liaison Preferences.
Right.
And so it's just adjusting the motion to what occurred. So it said here, one is the motion, I incorporated the title of the mayor's document.
Okay.
So, but then recognized as it can be seen in the sort of motion, because I did the transcript of the video. And so I adapted it to,
Right.
it mayor, motion by Turnbull, blah, blah. And so to adjust it to motion by Turnbull with support from Janetti to approve the board and commission city liaison and member preferences as discussed by city council using documents submitted by, well, it should be by Mayor Brian Turnbull and council member Barbara Morosky Brown.
Great.
But it passed 5-0. And I did the excerpt from I think the clerk did the best she could of crafting with what she thought occurred.
There's a lot of action
Right,
going on there.
well, and it was there was a lot of back and forth
Yep.
and there was a lot of discussion. And that's why I went painfully and listened to the video again. But also, if anybody, that when you're in the city council link for YouTube, it can for you generate an AI transcript. And so not only are you hearing it, because sometimes it goes quickly or it's got it going down the right all the times. So anyway, if anybody wants, if there's an area that you want to say, what did that say? You can, instead of re-listening to it all the time, you can just go to the right and say, could you slow that down and actually read it. So I did that excerpt of what the motion. So, so unless somebody else has a comment.
I'm fine with that. Thanks for clarifying that. You have it in writing right now. Correct?
Yes, I do.
Great. Great. Michaela, thank you. We had a lot of action in a short amount of time, and thank you for clarifying that. So you have a motion to clarify that.
Motion to edit as I read it.
Okay.
And I think the only difference between what I wrote and what I read was that I had by the mayor, because originally it was by the mayor, and since there were two of us, I put the names down.
Great.
Do you see I removed that's it.
Great. So we have a motion. Do we have support of that motion?
Support?
Any other discussion? I want to make you official here tonight. I
didn't even see it.
You're official now. Duly noted. Okay, so we have a motion properly supported. Any other discussion up here? I don't think this is one for public comment. I guess it could be before I do that. Anybody?
We put it on new business.
Okay, we put it on the new business. So we approved it on the other. Anybody comment on the scribble note? Okay. Anybody online that has a scribble note?
Not at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Great. So I'm closing off public comment. Okay, so we have a motion properly supported. No other discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Good. So we have one more thing on the agenda, but it's not too thrilling. We'll come back. There's no vote when we come back. So I'm going to do closing comments right now. You don't have to stick around. It might be pretty short. We're just talking about things, but I want to give you your night. I mean, this is unbelievable that you're going to have a night. Usually we don't do this to you. We'll have 2 more hours in there and people on their cocktails at home. So with that, I will start. It's great to see a lot of you downtown Norfolk. It was unbelievable, the parade. It was 68 different floats. We lit up the tree. We had Santa gave him the keys to the city. The estimate was 12 to 14,000 people in downtown. That was by the phone, so that was verified. It's not like an estimate. Our police tell us an estimate, but we see how many phones are in the market. In fact, SEMCOG, who was here earlier, they help us with that data. We know exactly how many are in and out of the downtown. We had over 500,000 people last year in our downtown. A big activity is 10,000 people on a weekend. 14,000 is a lot. During the week, it's hundreds of people down there every night, but during the weekend, it's many, many thousands. So it's great to see everybody. It was great weather too. We were very fortunate. Santa got that key, and then the next day I had to give another key to the city to another Santa in the 5K. But it was a great weekend. A lot going on. We combined a lot of things, into that weekend, and I think it worked out really well with the Greens Fair and the horse and buggy rides. And DDA and the Chamber are working together on large events. So just wanted to thank everybody that was part of that. The Christmas activity that was down there. It's great instead of one little weekend on the rides and something, but great to see you. great to have people around. Great to have activity in downtown. That's all I have. We'll be here before Christmas. We have it in 2 weeks from today, the 15th. Any comments from those? I'll get to you. I know you want to talk tonight too. Anything else?
Mayor, I'll just
This is a
note on,
closing comment.
yep, on Wednesday, well, we'll all be spending 30 minutes ringing the bell over by the post
Oh,
office. So come by and support Salvation Army, especially between 2:30 and 3 o'clock.
12 o'clock would be a really good time for you to come.
So.
But if you're
2:30
late, 3 o'clock.
2:30 to 3 is for
Okay.
sure the best.
Okay, good. And bring your wallet at
Yeah,
12
bring you
o'clock.
all, just dump it in there.
12
at
o'clock.
2:30. No, that's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Good, thank you. John?
One quick item for anyone looking to get involved. The Bicentennial Committee is meeting this Wednesday at 7 p.m. I am also looking forward to seeing a number of you serving up dinner at the Allen Terrace Holiday Party next week. So I hope you guys can make it.
Great, and that is next Wednesday, correct?
Correct.
Right.
Go right ahead. No, just Laura.
I'm good.
You're good. Okay. I just, well, this is following up from the $1.2 million, the SEMCOG TAP grant. I just want to shout out and thank the Riverwalk Task Force. And George and I had this conversation last week. This is just amazing to get this for Ford Field East. John also serves on Riverwalk Task Force. If I think back to 2021 and the task force, it's so many members working on the implementation plan. You know, under Nancy Darga's leadership, there were implementation sub-teams.
Absolutely.
And then really including Ford Field East and what it could be. This is an area that I fell in love with during the pandemic. And so would walk over there all the time. Knew it before, but just a little bit different. And I mean, it's a remediated Superfund site. There's not much we can do with, but right now, all that's done is just a picnic table. You see people fishing in there. Hope it's catch and release. And then that's it. And then the city mows it. I don't know if it's Parks and Rec, but, and what it can be, you know, in terms of that connection with Ford Field West, all the way down, you know, through with the Foundry Flask area down, just amazing. But it started because of Riverwalk Task Force recognizing it and then also pushing for the master plan, working with Parks and Rec on that. And then also city administration picking up the ball and making it happen by those foundational investment documents about engineering and design. And then the mayor brought it home, you know, with SEMCOG. He got to vote on that.
I get
So,
15% of
yes.
the vote, so I always.
So, you know, I mean, it was truly a team effort, but I just remember very fondly and well thinking, can we ever do this to Ford Field East? Because it's so expensive. We'll still have to invest money. But I just want to recognize all that hard work from all those team members.
A lot of work from a lot of people. And this week's newsletter is on the Riverwalk Task Force and all they've done. Now they have more work, they have more opportunities and other
Oh, there's, yeah. They're
pieces. There's 11 different sections of the Riverwalk when we're done. And there's a presentation that SEMCOG was going to look at all the way from Oakland County, all the way out to Beck Road down 7 miles. So we got to get our first 5 sections done first, and then we'll look at the rest. So great comments. Anything else from up here? It's all yours as a city manager.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Enlighten us.
So a couple of quick items I'd like to just sort of update on. There was mentioned from the public about our website. Obviously, the city council, no one was been particularly happy with our website. It is in drastic need of an update. We put an RFP out in the summer, I believe. I may get the dates a little wrong. We had about 35 submissions for that. We detailed review of it for the internal committee and narrowed that down to about 8 to 10 website providers that we wanted to look more in depth at. We did that review and then came back and did in-person interviews with 3 of the top providers. We have selected one. We are currently working on the terms of that agreement. It'll be reviewed by the city attorney and then be coming to council for your consideration, hopefully within a month, depending on how quickly we can get that done. And then I would expect a 9-month transition is probably a good time frame because we have a lot of data to go through. The organization of it will all be looked at, and this will be a company that will redesign, recommend organizational structure, and also host the website into the future. So we are looking for a very good and productive redesign of the website, and we'll be bringing that to council pretty quickly. And it's been a lot of work in the background to get us to this point by staff to get us to this point. The next item was an important item regarding the roundabout. I know we had talked about the fact that we had hoped to get the roundabout completed just before Thanksgiving, and obviously Thanksgiving has come and gone at this point. So I'd like to ask, we're fortunate to have George Sokoff here, our lead engineer from OHM. He can give a little bit of an update on the status of the roundabout, where we are and what we would expect to see over the coming weeks. And then if you have any big questions for him as well. So this is not a presentation, just a brief
Yeah, so
update.
this might answer some
Yeah.
of those questions.
Just a brief update from George.
We can't do it from here, but you can hopefully get some of those answers.
George with OHM.
Yes,
Yeah.
we've met.
Few times. So we had, as George mentioned, we had hoped to have all the concrete poured by Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, they ran into a few issues over the past few weeks that delayed them. A couple of which were damages to the Wayne County sewer interceptor and also to a city sewer, which required replacement. That set them back a few days, which we desperately needed to finish the concrete. So they have about 2 to 3 days of concrete pours left to finish the north side. As long as the plant is open and they're making the Wayne County mix, they do add certain winter additives at the plant. MDOT does have certain winter protection requirements. You've probably seen the blankets out there, thermal blankets to protect the concrete. They have also been trying to protect the subgrade with the blankets, try to keep the frost out of the aggregate. So the plan is that they will continue to try to pour this week as long as the plant is making the concrete, as long as they can protect the subgrade. If there is any frost in the stone, they typically will scrape that out, replace it with new stone. So that's why our inspector's out there. Our sub-consultant, G2 consultant, is doing all the material testing. They take the cores, they test for strength, they test for slump, water content. They do that all on site, continuing as normal. Contractor still has certain performance requirements they need to meet. That doesn't change with the weather. Certainly becomes more difficult, but it doesn't change what they're required to provide as a product. So I do know what I've been told is at least through this week, the plant will be making the mix and they're going to try to pour when they can. I can't assure you that they'll get the north end done completely. If they don't, they'll likely have to finish it in the spring. If they do get it done in terms of the concrete pavement, the next step is they're going to have to get a little bit of a warm up to put the striping down, some of the temporary striping, because we can't open it to traffic without the proper markings. So if the concrete goes well this week, next week would be cure. They need to let the concrete cure. We would look at that week of December 15th, potentially for striping if we get a bit of a warm up, which I know next couple of weeks don't look good. Although I haven't seen the temps, beyond the 15th. So it is possible if we get a little warm up, they could get it striped. I know DT is going to be out there Thursday to evaluate starting to install the light poles, the LED light poles. So they're trying to get some of the lighting in yet this year. So we're doing everything we can to try to get it open to traffic before the holiday. I can't assure you 100% it will be, but that's the goal. And it's just been unfortunate. They've ran into some utility conflicts the past few weeks. It's set them back a little bit.
What's the temperature required to do the striping?
Typically it's 40 and rising. So you want to see temps rising above 40 at some point during the day. A lot of what they put down is going to be temporary. So the goal is to get it to adhere to a level that we think we can get through the winter. And then they'll put the permanent striping down in the spring. But typically 40 and rising is the MDOT requirement. And there's certain signs they'll need to, those need to be driven in. And obviously, as long as there's minimal frost, they can do that. And I'll know more from DT in terms of what level of the lighting they want to get in. They probably can't get the entire lighting system in, but if they can get enough in to where the county and MDOT's comfortable that it could be open, it could possibly be open yet. Great. Yeah.
Follow-up question. So it sounds like there is a risk that the plant could shut down until spring. If that occurs, does that mean that the current Wayne County dictated closure plan remains in place till spring?
I mean, we'd have to sit down with Dan's in the county and talk through the traffic control.
Yeah, because initially the thought was from our engineers that we would be able to have some turning, whether it's on north or south would have changed. So it'd be nice if they could consider if that scenario, which sounds like it's possible, maybe have those discussions. So if we could have some turning
Yeah.
there, at least till spring and construction resumes.
Yeah, I think it depends how much of that, so it'd be the northwest side they get poured. You know, it's possible you could open one-way traffic.
Yeah, that's what I mean,
Yeah.
or maybe just certain turnways, but something's better than nothing.
Sure. Yeah, I think
Which is what we have now.
Well, the goal is obviously get it poured, but if they can't, then we'll have to evaluate what could possibly be done traffic control wise.
Yeah, I was just looking at worst case scenario, but it sounds like it's not a improbable worst case.
So I
related
feel
to
the luck you're
plans.
gonna get it all poured though, so we won't really have to worry about this conversation, right?
We're hopeful it will be. And then I should have mentioned too, and I heard earlier something about the grants, some concern with the grants. The project was obligated in 2025. It started in 2025. The grants are active until the project's done. The contract always anticipated some work being done in the spring of 26. And if needed, it'll get extended. So there's no risk with the grant. The trigger on the grant is that it's obligated in the correct fiscal year it was.
I think what was the critical grant that we had till the end of this fiscal year. Oh, I'm sorry, calendar year actually, but it was because of timing, was related to the grant for the Ford Field improvements
Right.
and the overlook.
Yeah.
So that,
Wendy got an extension. on
Right.
that. Yep.
yes, so that was the one that we were very worried about because we let the contract anyway. So
Yeah,
my understanding
both
is
of your
we're fine on
grants
these.
are MDOT. Well, one's SEMCOG, one's MDOT, but the SEMCOG one runs through MDOT.
Mhm.
It's being administrated through MDOT as a local agency project, and their fiscal year typically is October to.
And we got a slight reprieve on the Ford Field overlook for completing that, so. Which
Well, I
isn't
feel like
related
that-
to your work.
We're gonna get a little bit more aggressive even on the Ford Field. We're not quite done with that for this fall, I understand.
Yeah, they're
Meeting-
certainly behind schedule. We've been pushing them as much as we could this summer to get out there and get moving. They've made some progress, stopped. It's been frustrating. There's no doubt about it.
And so people know on the roundabout, SEMCOG was there earlier, $1.5 million. You know, they were a great supporter of that too. So they were a good portion.
And to George's point, and the mayor mentions this, that we're an older city and that has a lot of advantages, but has disadvantages. All three, the playground, the gateway, and the roundabout, you have these utility conflicts, you have things that are unexpected underground, you didn't expect to find them, and then you find them. And it does slow you down quite a bit. So in Ford Field Playground, it was asphalt surface and concrete underneath it.
And all the pipe underneath
And then at the gateway, it was pipes and drainage structures they didn't expect to find and conduit.
They went right into the hill with
Yeah.
all the drainage and they just buried it. So now we have a whole new drainage
was
system that comes
conduit.
off of the
Yeah.
roads.
It was internet conduit they didn't expect to find under there that they found. I mean, so it's just thing after thing that delays the projects and you just have to work through it. And we've got a crew with OHM, with our internal staff that are adapting and moving it forward, and it's challenging, right? We're gonna move.
Great to be a bicentennial committee or community. It's a great opportunity.
And, you know, another quick point on the roundabout at the beginning, on the south side, there were a lot of big utility relocations that needed to be coordinated along with Dan starting their work. And
Right,
a lot of them started earlier in the summer, but those are always tough to get buttoned up.
right.
You know, you're working with DTE and AT&T and a lot of big conduits being moved. Those lingered a little bit longer than we'd hoped, and it delayed Dan's a little bit at the beginning. So that just all kind of culminated to where we are now.
Well, thank you, George. I appreciate an update.
It's really helpful.
George show. So you brought in your ringer to answer all those questions.
Thank you.
Any other questions from us? Great. So from there, we are going to go to section C, which is consideration of going into a closed session to perform the evaluation of the city manager in accordance to the Michigan compiled laws, MCL, under the Open Meetings Act. There is no vote when we come back. When we come back for the second meeting in December, we'll have a vote on that. So there's nothing to wait around. That's why we did our closing remarks. So go enjoy the night. I'm giving you're actually going to see a TV show or so tonight. So you'll be home by 8 o'clock. So with that, we need a roll call vote on that. First, I need a motion to do that. I guess I just did the motion. So in that.
Support.
So we have a motion properly supported. I usually don't do the motion, but instead of somebody reading it over again, and I can do that with the five of us, the mayor can do motions. Why don't you do a roll call vote on that, Michaela?
Morosky Brown,
Yes.
Krenz,
Yes.
Janetti,
Yep.
Carter,
Yes.
Turnbull.
Yes. Great. So we are closing this session off. We will be back. You can keep it rolling. I don't know if anybody will be there. Okay, do that. So I'm looking for a motion to return. I believe you have that language and somebody can say so moved. Go.
They can just say motion by and second supported by.
So I'm looking for a motion to return to the general session from our closed session. Do I have that motion from a council person?
So moved.
Okay, do I have support for that?
Support?
Support? Any other discussion? We need a roll call vote on this one. Are you roll calling?
Morosky Brown,
Yes.
Janetti,
Yes.
Turnbull,
Yes.
Krenz,
Yes.
Carter.
Yes.
Okay, so we're back in session now. We have already done our closing comments. I'm looking for a motion for adjournment. Do I have that?
So moved.
Do we have support? Support? Any other
Amen.
discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are closed. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good meeting.